kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
It is Humanist TV Africa. It is Humanist TV Africa. Let us make it the tree of life. My name is Tato Mukasa. Part of this team, and of course in the studio, is Dennis Bongole to do the production. We want to encourage you to please subscribe to our TV. We are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, but also we have a website. The name is Humanist TV Africa. Please do subscribe and get back to us, and also be able to put this message to many people. You can send us an email or send us a WhatsApp or contact us on our website. Today, we're talking about country profiles. Remember, our target is to promote an education that you don't normally get on social media. We are different. We are just a charity organization. We just start to do media work. So far, we have studios in Uganda, studios in Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe. We have studios in Nigeria and Ghana, Sierra Leone, UK, and the USA. And we are growing from strength to strength. We want to encourage you to please join us and do volunteer with us to take this message forward. Today, let us talk about Cameroon. Cameroon is a very interesting country. There's about 28 million people. It has been there for a long time, once occupied by the British, then by the Germans, then the French. It has a very beautiful history. Let us look at the maps and the flags of Cameroon. Cameroon, that is the flag, but also embedded in its map. You can see the star, the red for blood, the green for vegetation, and of course the yellow, that bright color to show us the sun in Africa. Cameroon is a very interesting country because it is relatively wealthy. It has minerals that you may not even find in many European countries. Of course, it has oil, it has gas, it has aluminium, it has bauxite, it has cobalt, diamonds, gold, and iron ore. That is Cameroon. When you look at its minerals, Cameroon, in terms of history, Cameroon was, as I told you, was once occupied by the British Cameroon. There was a part which was called British Cameroon between 1916 to 1961. Then there was also what we call the French Cameroon between 1916 to 1960. So there were two Cameroons divided into two. The British had a part, the French had a part. But again, we see that in 1884, until the First World War, Cameroon was a German colony. It was a German colony, subsequently divided into two territories. mandated by French and, of course, the United Kingdom. But Cameroon became independent in 1960. Where did they get the name Cameroon? Where did they get the name Cameroon? The name Cameroon was derived from Rio dos Cameros, River of Crowns. River of Crowns, the name given to woody river estuary by the Portuguese explorers of the 15th to 16th century. You can imagine the Portuguese explorers gave Cameroon this very name from river prawns, and that is how it got this name. In terms of size, Cameroon is also quite big at about 475,000 square kilometers. Let us look at the statistics. In terms of population, I told you Cameroon is about 28 million people as we speak. And of course, these 27 million people occupy that size of the country. The growth rate in Cameroon is not very threatening at 3.5 annually. And of course, age dependence is quite high at 81%. These are dependents. It makes it hard for the working class to feed the dependents. Urban population is 58%. Many people actually live in the urban areas. Infant mortality rate is at 47 deaths per 1,000 live births. And of course, life expectancy in Cameroon is only at 60 years. Only at 60 years now. In terms of age distribution in Cameroon, we can say that only 2.6% between 0 to between 65 years and up. Of course, the elder ones are very few in Cameroon, but the majority are between 15 to 64 years, and that is about 55% of the people in Cameroon are actually working class. Those who are in the youthful age, those who are a bit young children, are about 42%, right there below 14. Yeah, that is Cameroon in terms of statistics. Now, in terms of production, electricity there, Cameroon generates their own electricity. They are at 8 billion kilowatts. And of course, consumption is 6 billion. And of course, meaning that if they wanted to export, they would have been exporting. But that's how they are. Zero exports right there, but also imports not so much. Now, renewable energy is also there in Cameroon at 5 billion of the renewable energy right there. Now, in terms of oil, Cameroon has oil. I've said Cameroon has oil, and you can see how many thousands of liters of barrels of oil in thousands they produce right there. Consumption of oil is also there. They produce their oil, consume it, but also export much of their oil. But see, they also import some of the refined oil. Now, that is very interesting about Cameroon. They have reserves of crude oil right there, and oil has been part of Cameroon for some good years. The question is, why are Cameroonians very poor people? Now, let us look at natural gas. Natural gas in Cameroon is there. You can see those billions of natural gas right there. And then consumption is low, because if you are producing 90 billions plus and you are consuming 25, it means they are exporting 59 billion there of their natural gas. They are importing zero natural gas, which means natural gas is one of the income earners of Cameroon. Now, having said that, let us look at other figures of Cameroon. In terms of technology, we are seeing that airports about 33 there in Cameroon. The number of population is only 28. Now, look at cell phones, cellular telephones. People having phones. 19 million people actually have phone coverage. Yet there are only 28 million people in Cameroon, which means basically about 70% of the people in Cameroon basically have cellular telephones. Now, highways, the coverage is quite good in thousands there. Internet users, about 6 million people. Railway coverage is 987 kilometers. Telephones are quite many in Cameroon, given the coverage right there, as you can see on your screen. Now, the question, Cameroon is Western Africa, bordering the Bight of Biafra between Equatorial Guinea and Nigeria. Though people actually putting it in Central Africa, but my records here show that we can put it also in Western Africa there. Now, total area of Cameroon is given there, 475,000, 440 square kilometers in thousands, remember, the land total right there. And water coverage is 2,730 square kilometers. Coastline is only 402 kilometers. Climate in Cameroon is good. It varies with terrain from tropical along coast to semi-arid and hot in the north. Climate right there. There, the terrain, if you are going to drive in Cameroon, it's diverse with coastal plain in southwest, deserted plateau in center, mountains in west, plains in the north. Lowest point is the Atlantic Ocean right there, and the highest point is Fako on Mount Cameroon. Now, that is Cameroon in terms of statistics. Now, Cameroon is beautiful, I should tell you. If you go to Cameroon, it's all green much of the time. It is all green. It has green vegetation. It has the national parks like Robeck National Park right there, and it has, as I told you, it has Robeck. Let us see other. It has people, actually, they are pygmies in Cameroon. If you didn't know, they are pygmies in Cameroon. The Baka pygmies, they build their huts. They are so rural. They are so ancient. They are so traditional. The pygmies in Cameroon right there. Now, Cameroon also has animals. Some of the most exciting animals can be seen in Cameroon. We have Mefao National Park. Right there in Cameroon. Another exciting place to visit. And of course, there is this pigment, the monument of the unification of Cameroon. Remember, Cameroon, as we speak, they speak French much of the time. It's a French-speaking country, regardless of Portuguese being there, regardless of the British being there, and the Germans being there. They are speaking French much of the time. Now, Cameroon has some of these site attraction areas. You can go there and see on a screen. They have museums, quite a number of beautiful museums in Cameroon can be also seen there. National Museum of Yaoundé and others in Cameroon. Cameroon is quite interesting with such a beautiful history right there. They have, of course, most ethnographic, this forest. They have all these forests. Of course, I told you that many of these things are written in French. So, Benedictine Museum of Mentefeb, right there in Cameroon. Now, of course, all these are museums, Black Tree Museum and others I'm bringing to you. So, if you're going to Cameroon, you basically know where to go. And people have a beautiful culture. People have a very, very beautiful culture in Cameroon. There are people who are happy, jubilant. They like their masks. Cameroon like those costumes. They are happy families right in Cameroon. Don't be deceived if people are not happy in Cameroon. They are happy in Cameroon. Regardless of not having so much in their pockets, they are happy. Remember, in Cameroon, a total of 4.7 million people need actually assistance to survive because of food insecurity in Cameroon is quite high. So there are many people in IDPs, internally displaced persons in Cameroon. They are refugees and they are returnees in Cameroon. The debt burden in Cameroon is 45% of the GDP. Debt burden is quite high, and Cameroon has been ranked among the highly indebted poor countries. Now, what we know about Cameroon is that they have some of the best soccer players. They have some of the best soccer players in the world. They have produced Samuel Eto'o and Eto'o and others. Yes, Cameroon is known for their soccer prowess. If they go to World Cup, we know we are being represented. If they go to African Cup, we know we are being represented. Cameroon has a very, very happy people, regardless of the challenges. It's a food producing country. They really farm a lot of food, just like many countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Talk about these foods you see in other parts of Africa, you'll find that food right there in Cameroon. Cameroon's climate is good, so food is there. There shouldn't be a reason why Cameroonians should be going hungry. There is food, people have a culture, but because of instabilities in Cameroon, As you can see, they have bananas, they have cabbages, they have all these foods we talk about. But Cameroon has also had a share of instabilities coming from Nigeria, coming from these other countries surrounding Cameroon. Instabilities have been quite high in Cameroon, so it has affected the stability of Cameroon. But there are mangoes in Cameroon, there are all these oranges, there is food in Cameroon. That is one thing you are going to be sure of in Cameroon. There is food, and people can survive. People can survive, regardless of the challenges, regardless of the debt burden, regardless of a poor leadership in Cameroon. People have been surviving. You can see the fruits. You can go to Cameroon and have all these fresh fruits going for you in Cameroon. People are very, very happy. Regardless, people are happy. People are cattle keepers. People are farmers. And if you look at the village setting of Cameroon, you'll be surprised that actually it has a magnificent huts like these masnut huts, which are specifically in Cameroon. They are special huts that you will find specifically in Cameroon. And of course, there are these animals, quite a number of interesting animals in Cameroon. You will find there these animals. Yes, the leopards that go into the moor tree, the tree climbing leopards, and of course there are elephants, there are zebras, and other animals you'll see when you go to visit Cameroon. Of course, there are these other animals you'll find in equatorial places, the monkeys, of course some of the gorillas, and of course there are these lizards and others. These are things you're going to see in Cameroon if you go visiting. The rhinos, and these other animals are quite there. Remember, the economy of Cameroon would have been doing far better regardless of what's happening there. But of course, Cameroon has been poorly managed. They have elephants, of course. They have lions, of course, in Cameroon. You'll see these things. You'll see all of these things in Cameroon. Cameroon is big. I should tell you that in terms of size, you'll be surprised that Cameroon actually is the world's 53 largest country. If you count countries that are big, Cameroon takes position number 53 in the world in terms of size. In fact, Cameroon is bigger than Sweden, is bigger than the state of California, is bigger than most of these other countries we've seen in Europe. It's quite big. Yet, the population in Cameroon is only 28 million people, by the way. It means the country is big, population is low, therefore there are chances to develop this country. We have some of these magnificent resorts, very good tourism handling places. You could go there with your loved ones and have fun. We have some of these remote areas that are well built with these traditional huts you'll only find in Cameroon. I love their huts. Of course, much of Africa has these traditional built huts. But in Cameroon, in the rural areas, you're going to find these huts. Some people think this is a symbol of poverty, but others will tell you this is a symbol of keeping your tradition intact. Yes, Cameroon has been affected by bad leadership. As I've told you, it has had one president. I'll give a minute there to talk about this man, Paul Biya. Paul Biya is one of the oldest presidents in the world. You can imagine this man, Paul Biya, was born Paul Bathereme Biyabi Mivondo, was born on the 13th day of February 1933. He's a Cameroonian politician and who has been second president of Cameroon since the 6th day of November 1982, having been previously the Prime Minister of Cameroon from 1975 to 1982. Then he became the second president from 1982 up to date. This man is the longest serving president, is the second longest serving president in Africa and in the world. This man has been the second longest serving president in the world. Is only coming after another dictator called Theodore Obianga Nguema Masongo, who is a president of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, who has been in that power since 1979. Bianga Masong Tedro Nguema of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea has been there since 1979. This man is on TV. Paul Biya has been a president since 1982. Think about it. Take all your time. Think about it. This man has ruled Cameroon with an iron hand. And apart from that, he has stolen so much from the people of Cameroon. You can imagine a country with only 28 million people, a country as big as Sweden, bigger like the state of California, a country with oil, with gold, with diamonds, with gas, a country with forests, a country with all these natural resources, but a country with a people that over 50% of the people in Cameroon, 28 million people, over 50%, about 14 million people in Cameroon cannot earn $1 a day. This man, Paul Biya, earns a salary which is an equivalent of 500,000 pounds a year. Earns a salary which is an equivalent of about 500,000 pounds a year. He has been in power since 1982 as a president. This man, his fortune is valued to be about $200 million. His fortune as a person, and all his money has been invested in countries in Europe and in the US. He has buildings there, he has investments there, he has invested money stolen from the people of Cameroon in countries, steals money from Cameroon, and then invests this money in much of Europe, where he has mansions, where he has businesses. Of course, these businesses are disguised. Man, this shows you how terrible presidents in Africa can be. Why Africa remains stagnant. Why Africa remains poor. People like Paul Biya, presidents who don't leave power. He has been in power for that long. From 1982, he has been in power. 40 years in power. He is 91 years old. He can't even make a sound decision at the moment because people must do the decision for him. But they are fronting him as the leader. He's always outside the country. And Cameroon has received so much insurgency, so much instability. People are simply stealing resources from Cameroon and taking them to Europe, and taking them to US, and taking them to wherever, Asia, whatever. And the people in Cameroon remain poor. Leadership is the crisis here. But regardless of that, Cameroon remains with some of the most happy people, most hospitable people, most entertaining people. Some of the best football players in the world have come from Cameroon. So it's a country with talent, it's a country with potential. Leadership is the problem for Cameroon. But still, investment opportunities are still there in Cameroon. You can choose to go to Cameroon and invest. Or simply go to Cameroon and have a sight view. Simply be a tourist and enjoy Cameroon, the food, the culture, and of course the dances of the people in Cameroon. Thank you for watching. Please keep sharing this information to keep educating our people about Africa and what we can do to fix Africa. What we can do to fix Africa is by knowing the Africa that we live in. Thank you so much. Keep watching. See you in the next one.